The warning. The vast emptiness of space was shattered by the sudden appearance of a massive fleet. Thousands of starships, their hulls gleaming with an otherworldly sheen, emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system. At the center of this armada was the flagship of the Galactic Empire, the Eternal Dominion, a behemoth of a vessel that dwarfed even the largest of Earth's cities. On the bridge of the Eternal Dominion, Grand Admiral Zexrar stood with his 4 arms clasped behind his back, his compound eyes fixed on the holographic display of the small blue planet that was their target. Earth, a primitive world on the fringes of the Empire's territory, but one that had inexplicably resisted all attempts at diplomatic contact or subtle infiltration. "My lord," a junior officer approached, his exoskeleton clicking nervously. "We're receiving a transmission from the planet." Zexrar's mandibles clicked in amusement. "Oh, have the primitives finally realized the futility of their isolation? Put it through." The holographic display flickered, and a human face appeared. The being was unremarkable by galactic standards: 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, and a concerning lack of exoskeletal protection. But there was something in those eyes, a steel that made even the battle-hardened Zexrar pause. "This is General Sarah Connor of Earth's United Defense Force." The human spoke, her voice calm but carrying an undercurrent of iron resolve. "Galactic Empire, you have entered restricted space. This is your first and final warning. Turn back now, or face the consequences." Laughter erupted across the bridge, a cacophony of clicks, whistles, and rumbles from the various alien species that made up the Empire's officer corps. Zexrar silenced them with a wave of his upper right arm. "General Connor," he said, his translator converting his clicks and chirps into the human language. "I am Grand Admiral Zexrar of the Galactic Empire. Your bravery is admirable, but misplaced. We come with an armada capable of reducing your world to ash. Surrender now, and we may be merciful." Connor's expression didn't change. "You misunderstand, Admiral. This isn't bravery. It's a courtesy. Earth is not defenseless, and we are not alone. I repeat, leave now or face the consequences." The transmission cut off abruptly. Zexrar's compound eyes narrowed. "Scan the system. I want to know what defenses this mudball thinks it has." Deep beneath the surface of Earth, in a control room buried under miles of rock and advanced shielding, Sarah Connor removed her comm headset and turned to her team. The room was a hive of activity, screens displaying real-time data from every corner of the solar system, technicians and officers working in perfect synchronization. "They're not leaving," a young lieutenant reported, his eyes fixed on a display showing the Empire's fleet. "In fact, they're moving closer." Sarah nodded, her face grim. "They never do. Activate the Gaia Protocol." A hush fell over the room. The Gaia Protocol was Earth's ultimate defense system, a convergence of technology, and a power that humanity was only beginning to understand. It had never been used in actual combat before. "Are you sure, General?" asked Dr. Elias Chen, the lead scientist behind the Gaia Protocol. "Once activated, we can't fully control its effects." Sarah met his gaze. "We've prepared for this day for decades, Elias. If we don't use it now, there might not be an Earth left to defend." Elias nodded and turned to his console. With a series of complex commands, he initiated the sequence that would awaken Earth's secret weapon. In space, the Empire's fleet continued its advance, unaware of the power they were about to face. Zexrar was growing impatient. Their scans had revealed no orbital defenses, no hidden fleets, nothing that could pose a threat to their armada. "My lord," an officer called out, panic evident in his voice. "We're detecting a massive energy surge from the planet." Before Zexrar could respond, the space around Earth began to shimmer. It started as a faint ripple, barely noticeable against the backdrop of stars. But within seconds, it had grown into a visible distortion, a spherical field that encompassed the entire planet. "What in the name of the Emperor is that?" Zexrar demanded. No one had an answer. And then, as suddenly as it had appeared, the field pulsed. A wave of energy unlike anything the Empire had ever encountered burst forth from Earth, racing towards the invasion fleet at impossible speeds. Evasive maneuvers. Zexrar roared, but it was too late. The energy wave washed over the fleet. Ships at the forefront of the armada simply vanished, atomized in an instant. Others were tossed about like leaves in a storm, their hulls crumpling under forces they were never designed to withstand. The Eternal Dominion, protected by its size and advanced shields, shuddered violently but held together. When the chaos subsided, Zexrar looked out at his once mighty fleet. More than half of the ships were gone, either destroyed or crippled beyond repair. The survivors were scattered, their formations broken. "Status report," he demanded. "My lord, we've lost contact with over 60% of the fleet," an officer reported, his voice shaking. "Our long-range communications are down, and our sensors are barely functioning. Whatever that energy was, it's unlike anything in our databases." Zexrar's mind raced. In all his years of conquest, he had never encountered a defense like this. The humans had warned them, and he had dismissed it as the bravado of a primitive species. Now he was paying the price for his arrogance. "Recall all surviving ships," he ordered. "We're withdrawing to the edge of the system to regroup." As the battered remnants of the Empire's fleet retreated, Sarah Connor watched the feeds in the control room. The Gaia protocol had worked better than they had dared to hope, but she knew this was only the beginning. "They'll be back," she said to no one in particular. "And next time, they'll be prepared." Dr. Chen nodded grimly. "We've shown our hand now. The element of surprise is gone." Sarah turned to address the room. "Then we'd better make damn sure we're ready for round 2, because make no mistake, people, the real war has just begun." As klaxons blared and the Earth's defenders sprung into action, preparing for the battles to come, one thing was clear. Humanity had issued its warning to the stars. They were not to be trifled with. The Galactic Empire had learned this lesson the hard way, but the question remained. Would the rest of the galaxy heed the warning, or would they too test the resolve of this small blue planet that defied the odds? The stage was set for a conflict that would reshape the galaxy, with Earth at its center. And humanity, against all expectations, was ready to fight. First contact gone wrong. The retreat of the Galactic Empire's fleet left an eerie calm in Earth's orbit. Debris from destroyed ships drifted silently, a grim reminder of the battle that had just taken place. On the surface, humanity held its collective breath, knowing that this was merely the eye of the storm. In the depths of the Pentagon's most secure bunker, General Sarah Connor stood before a panel of world leaders, her face illuminated by the harsh glow of holographic displays. "The Gaia protocol exceeded our expectations," she reported, her voice steady despite the weight of her words. "But we've revealed our hand. The Empire now knows we're not defenseless." President Chen of the United Earth Alliance leaned forward, his brow furrowed. "What are our options, General?" Sarah's eyes hardened. "We prepare. The Empire will return, and they'll come with everything they have." Across the vast expanse of space, aboard the battered flagship Eternal Dominion, Grand Admiral Zexrar faced a similar council. His once pristine exoskeleton was cracked, a testament to the ferocity of Earth's defense. "Impossible," screeched Counselor Vexthor, his tentacles writhing in agitation. "How could a primitive world possess such power?" Zexrar's compound eyes narrowed. "It matters not how they acquired it. What matters is how we overcome it." The ship's chief scientist, Dr. Zuilara, stepped forward. Her crystalline form shimmered as she spoke. "The energy signature is unlike anything in our records. It seems to be intrinsically tied to the planet itself." "Explain," Zexrar demanded. "It's as if the planet is alive," Zuilara continued, her voice filled with a mixture of fear and fascination. "The energy doesn't just protect Earth, it's part of Earth." A heavy silence fell over the room. The implications were staggering. If Earth itself was their enemy, How could they hope to conquer it? Zexrar's mandibles clicked in determination. We are the Galactic Empire. We have subdued 1,000 worlds. This Earth will be no different. Prepare the Worldbreaker. Gasps and murmurs filled the chamber. The Worldbreaker was a weapon of last resort, capable of shattering a planet's core. Its use was forbidden by galactic law, but desperate times called for desperate measures. Back on Earth, preparations were underway. The Gaia Protocol had taken a tremendous toll on the planet's resources. Storms raged across continents, tectonic plates shifted unpredictably, and the very air crackled with residual energy. In a secret facility beneath the Himalayas, Dr. Elias Chen worked tirelessly to understand and control the power they had unleashed. Holographic models of Earth's core spun before him, pulsing with an otherworldly light. "It's beautiful," he murmured, reaching out to touch the hologram. As his fingers passed through the light, he felt a jolt of energy. His eyes widened in realization. It's not just the planet. It's us. We're connected to it. Before he could explore this revelation further, alarms blared throughout the facility. Sarah's voice came over the intercom, urgent and commanding. They're back, and they've brought something big. In orbit, the Empire's fleet had returned. But this time, they were accompanied by a monstrosity that dwarfed even the Eternal Dominion. The Worldbreaker loomed over Earth, its surface covered in pulsing veins of dark energy. On the bridge of the flagship, Zexrar watched with grim satisfaction. Begin the sequence. Let's see how their living planet fares against the might of the Empire. The Worldbreaker hummed to life, its core pulsing with malevolent energy. A beam of pure darkness shot forth, piercing through Earth's atmosphere and striking the surface with devastating force. The effect was immediate and catastrophic. Earthquakes rocked every continent. Volcanoes long dormant roared to life. The seas boiled and churned. In the control room, Sarah gripped the edge of her console, watching in horror as the planet convulsed. Status report. The Gaia Protocol is offline. An officer shouted over the din of alarms. Whatever they're using, it's disrupting our connection to the planet's core. Sarah's mind raced. Without the Gaia Protocol, Earth was defenseless. Billions would die. Everything they had fought for would be lost. But even as despair threatened to overwhelm her, a new sensation washed over her. It was subtle at first, a faint tingling in her fingertips. Then it grew, spreading through her body like a wave of warmth. She wasn't alone. All around the world, humans were experiencing the same phenomenon. From the densest cities to the most remote villages, a collective consciousness was awakening. In the Himalayan facility, Dr. Chen staggered as the sensation hit him. It's not just the planet, he gasped into his calm. It's us. Humanity is the key. Understanding dawned on Sarah. The Gaia Protocol hadn't just awakened the planet's defenses. It had awakened humanity's latent connection to Earth itself. They were the planet's immune system, and now they were being called to action. Everyone, listen to me, Sarah broadcast globally, her voice steady despite the chaos. Focus on the planet. Feel its pain, its struggle. We are Earth's children, and it needs us now. Across the world, humans closed their eyes and reached out with their minds. Scientists and shamans, soldiers and civilians, all joined in a collective effort unlike anything in human history. In orbit, Zexrar watched in disbelief as Earth began to glow. The Worldbreaker's beam of destruction was being pushed back, dispersed by a shield of pure energy emanating from the planet's surface. "Impossible," he whispered, his mandibles quivering in fear. The glow intensified, becoming a blinding light that engulfed the planet. Then, with a silent explosion of power, it expanded outward. The Worldbreaker, caught in the wave of energy, shuddered and began to break apart. Zexrar had only moments to give the order to retreat before the wave hit the Eternal Dominion. The massive ship groaned under the strain, its hull buckling as it was flung back into deep space. As the light faded, Earth hung serenely in space, its wounds already beginning to heal. The invading fleet was gone, scattered to the cosmic winds by the planet's defenders. In the control room, Sarah opened her eyes, feeling the deep connection to every human on the planet. She knew, without a doubt, that this was only the beginning. Earth had revealed its true power, and the galaxy would never be the same. "Well done, everyone," she said, her voice filled with pride and determination. "But our fight is far from over. The Empire will return, and we need to be ready. It's time for humanity to take its place among the stars." As the world began to recover and prepare for the challenges ahead, one thing was clear: the humans had issued their warning, and the galaxy would have to listen. Earth was not to be trifled with, and its children were ready to defend their home at any cost. The battle for Earth. The aftermath of Earth's second victory against the Galactic Empire left the planet in a state of unprecedented unity. The shared experience of connecting with the planet's core had fundamentally changed humanity. People across the globe reported newfound abilities: enhanced intuition, limited telepathy, and in some cases, the power to manipulate small amounts of matter and energy. In the weeks that followed, Earth underwent a rapid transformation. Cities were rebuilt with organic architecture that seemed to grow from the ground itself. Technology melded seamlessly with nature, creating a harmonious blend of the artificial and the natural. At the heart of this evolution was the Gaia Nexus, a global network of humans who maintained a constant psychic link with the planet. Dr. Elias Chen, now revered as the father of this new era, led the efforts to understand and harness humanity's awakened potential. "We've only scratched the surface," he explained to a rapt audience of world leaders and scientists. "Our connection to Earth has unlocked abilities we never dreamed possible, but we must learn to control and direct this power before the Empire returns." General Sarah Connor, watching from the back of the room, nodded grimly. She knew better than anyone that their respite would be short-lived. The Empire had been humiliated twice now, and their retaliation would be swift and merciless. Her fears were justified. Deep in the heart of Imperial space, Grand Admiral Zexarar stood before the Emperor himself, his once proud form now hunched with the weight of his failures. The Emperor, a being of pure energy contained within an ornate exosuit, pulsed with barely contained rage. "You have failed us twice, Zexarar. The Empire does not tolerate failure." Zexarar bowed low, his antennae quivering. "My Emperor, I beg for one last chance. Earth's power is great, but it is not invincible. I have a plan that will crush their resistance once and for all." The Emperor's form flickered, considering. "Speak." "The humans draw their strength from their connection to their planet," Zexarar explained. "If we sever that connection, they will be defenseless. I propose Operation Earthfall, a simultaneous attack on multiple fronts that will overwhelm their defenses and allow us to deploy the Ptiza disruptor." The Emperor's curiosity was piqued. The Ptiza disruptor. That weapon has been banned for millennia. "Desperate times, my Emperor," Zexarar said, a note of fervor in his clicks and chirps. "The PC disruptor will create a psychic barrier around the planet, cutting off the humans from their source of power. Once isolated, they will fall before our might." After a moment of tense silence, the Emperor's form pulsed in agreement. "Very well, Admiral. You have your chance. But know this: if you fail again, the consequences will be severe." Zexarar bowed deeply, relief and determination flooding through him. "I will not fail, my Emperor. Earth will fall, and the Empire will reign supreme." As the Empire prepared its most ambitious assault yet, Earth continued to evolve. The Gaia Nexus had grown stronger, allowing for instantaneous communication and coordination across the globe. Defenses were bolstered, with massive organic structures that could redirect energy attacks growing alongside traditional military installations. Sarah Connor stood atop one such structure, overlooking a bustling metropolis that seamlessly blended with the surrounding forest. Dr. Chen joined her, his eyes reflecting the awe he still felt at their transformed world. "It's remarkable," he said softly. In just a few weeks, we've advanced centuries. Sarah nodded, but her expression remained grim. And it might not be enough. Our long-range sensors have detected Imperial activity at the edge of the solar system. They're coming, Elias, and this time, they're bringing everything they have. As if on cue, alarms blared across the planet. The sky lit up as thousands of Imperial ships dropped out of hyperspace, forming a ring around Earth that blotted out the stars. In orbit, Zexrar surveyed the planet with cold determination. Begin the assault. All ships, open fire. Deploy ground forces at the designated coordinates, and prepare the Psi disruptor for activation. The battle for Earth had begun in earnest. Imperial ships rained destruction from above, their energy weapons carving swaths of devastation across continents. But Earth was ready. The organic defense structures sprang to life, absorbing and redirecting the energy attacks back at the Imperial fleet. On the ground, Imperial dropships landed, disgorging armies of mechanized troops and fearsome bioengineered beasts. They were met by Earth's defenders, humans empowered by their connection to the planet, wielding abilities that seemed like magic to their alien foes. Sarah Connor led from the front, her enhanced abilities allowing her to coordinate the global defense with unprecedented efficiency. Keep them contained, she ordered through the Gaia Nexus. We can't let them establish a foothold. For hours, the battle raged across every corner of the globe. The Empire's superior numbers and technology were matched by humanity's newfound powers and intimate knowledge of their home terrain. Cities became battlegrounds. Forests came alive to entangle Imperial forces, and the very Earth opened up to swallow enemy battalions. But even as Earth's defenders held their ground, Zexrar's true plan was unfolding. High above the North Pole, a massive ship unlike any other moved into position. The Psi disruptor, a relic of a long-forgotten war, hummed to life. Dr. Chen, monitoring the battle from the Gaia Nexus headquarters, was the first to sense the danger. Sarah, he called out urgently. They're activating something in orbit. It's trying to cut us off from the planet. Sarah felt it too, a creeping numbness, as if her connection to Earth was being slowly severed. All forces, be advised, she broadcast. The enemy is attempting to disrupt our link to the planet. Stand by for. Her words were cut off as the PC disruptor reached full power. A wave of psychic energy washed over the planet, and suddenly, the connection that had become so integral to humanity vanished. All across the globe, Earth's defenders stumbled, their powers flickering and fading. The organic defense structures wilted, no longer able to draw energy from the planet's core. In that moment of weakness, the Imperial forces pressed their advantage. Zexrar watched with grim satisfaction as the tide of battle turned. The humans are cut off from their precious planet, he announced to his officers. Victory is within our grasp. Commence the final phase of the invasion. As Imperial forces began to overwhelm Earth's defenses, Sarah Connor and her allies found themselves facing a desperate situation. Cut off from the source of their power and outnumbered by an enemy that showed no mercy, humanity's last stand seemed doomed to failure. But even in their darkest hour, the human spirit refused to be extinguished. As the battle raged on, Sarah knew that their only hope lay in finding a way to reconnect with Earth and restore their abilities. The fate of their world, and perhaps the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. Turning the tide. The skies over Earth burned with the fury of war. Imperial ships, emboldened by the success of the PC disruptor, pressed their advantage. Cities crumbled under relentless bombardment, and the once proud organic defenses withered like plants in a drought. In the heart of what was once New York, now a battlefield of twisted metal and shattered concrete, Sarah Connor fought alongside a group of resistance fighters. Her enhanced abilities were gone, replaced by the raw determination that had defined humanity for millennia. Fall back, she shouted, firing her pulse rifle at an advancing group of Imperial shock troopers. We need to regroup. As they retreated through the ruins, Sarah's mind raced. Without their connection to Earth, They were fighting a losing battle. But there had to be a way, some weakness they could exploit. Miles away, in the underground bunker that housed the remnants of the Gaia Nexus, Dr. Elias Chen worked feverishly. Sweat beaded on his brow as he pored over data streams and energy readings. "There has to be something," he muttered, his fingers flying over holographic displays. "The connection can't just be gone." Suddenly, an alert flashed on one of his screens. Chen's eyes widened as he processed the information. "That's it," he exclaimed, grabbing his communicator. "Sarah, are you there? I think I've found something." Sarah's voice crackled through the static. "I'm here, Elias. What have you got?" "The PC disruptor isn't severing our connection to Earth," Chen explained rapidly. "It's just blocking it, like a dam holding back a river. But there might be a way to break through." Hope flickered in Sarah's chest. "How?" "The disruptor's creating a psychic barrier around the planet," Chen continued. "But it's not perfect. There are weak points, places where the Earth's natural energy is so strong that it's pushing back against the barrier." Sarah nodded, understanding dawning. "We need to find one of these weak points and break through." "Exactly," Chen confirmed. "If we can punch a hole in the barrier, even for a moment, it might be enough to restore our connection to the planet." Sarah's mind was already racing with tactical possibilities. "Send me the coordinates of the nearest weak point. We'll make our stand there." As Sarah rallied what remained of Earth's defenders, Grand Admiral Zexarar surveyed the battlefield from the bridge of the Eternal Dominion. Victory was within his grasp, but something nagged at the back of his mind. "Status report," he barked. His second in command, a towering insectoid named Vexlor, stepped forward. "The humans are in full retreat, my lord. Our forces are advancing on all fronts." Zexarar's compound eyes narrowed. "And yet they haven't surrendered. Why?" Before Vexlor could respond, an alarm blared. "My lord," a technician called out, "we're detecting an energy surge from the surface." Zexarar whirled around. "Where?" A holographic map appeared, showing a pulsing red dot in what was once the Amazon rainforest. "There, sir. It appears the humans are concentrating their forces in that area." Zexarar's mandibles clicked in agitation. "They're up to something. Divert our forces to that location. Crush them before they can enact whatever plan they're hatching." On the ground, Sarah Connor led a ragtag group of soldiers, scientists, and civilians through the dense undergrowth of the Amazon. The forest, once lush and teeming with life, was now a scorched battlefield. But even here, they could feel a faint pulse of energy, like a heartbeat struggling to be heard. "This is it," Sarah announced, coming to a stop in a small clearing. "Chen says the weak point is right here." Dr. Chen's voice came through their comms. "I'm reading a massive concentration of Earth's energy just beneath the surface. If we can tap into it, we might be able to break through the psychic barrier." Sarah nodded grimly. "All right, people, you know what's at stake. We need to hold this position long enough for Chen to work his magic. Whatever comes at us, we stand our ground. For Earth." A ragged cheer went up from the assembled defenders. They were a motley crew, soldiers with makeshift weapons, civilians who had never fired a gun before today, and a handful of scientists clutching hastily assembled devices designed to amplify Earth's energy. As they prepared their defenses, the air filled with the ominous hum of Imperial dropships. The enemy had taken the bait. "Here they come," Sarah muttered, raising her rifle. "Remember, we just need to buy time." The battle that followed was nothing short of epic. Wave after wave of Imperial forces crashed against the human defenders. Energy weapons scorched the earth, and the air filled with the screams of the wounded and dying. But the humans held their ground. Every inch of soil was paid for in blood, both human and alien. And in the center of it all, a team of scientists led by Dr. Chen worked frantically to tap into the planet's energy. Hours passed, and the human forces were pushed to their limits. Sarah, bleeding from a dozen wounds, fought on, her determination unbreakable. "Chen," she shouted into her comm, "we can't hold much longer." "Almost there." Chen's voice was strained. "We just need a little more." "Wait. I think we've got it." In that moment, the ground beneath them began to tremble. A soft glow emanated from the earth, growing brighter by the second. Zexarar, watching from orbit, felt a sudden surge of fear. "What's happening down there?" he demanded. But it was too late. With a blinding flash of light, the energy burst forth from the ground, punching a hole through the psychic barrier. The Psi disruptor, overwhelmed by the surge, exploded in a spectacular fireball. On the surface, Sarah gasped as she felt the familiar warmth of Earth's energy flow through her. All around, the human defenders straightened, their eyes glowing with renewed power. It worked. Sarah breathed, a fierce grin spreading across her face. She turned to the stunned Imperial forces. "Now it's our turn." What followed was nothing short of a rout. The empowered humans, their connection to Earth restored and stronger than ever, unleashed their full potential. Trees came alive, entangling Imperial soldiers. The ground opened up, swallowing tanks and dropships. Even the air itself seemed to fight for Earth, with tornadoes forming spontaneously to tear apart enemy formations. In orbit, Zexarar watched in horror as his invasion force was decimated. "Retreat," he screamed. "All forces, full retreat." But the humans weren't done. Sarah Connor, her eyes blazing with Earth's power, reached out with her mind. Across the planet, millions of humans did the same, joining their consciousness into a single, unstoppable force. A wave of pure energy, fueled by the combined will of humanity and the very essence of Earth itself, surged outward. It washed over the retreating Imperial fleet, shorting out systems and sending ships tumbling through space. When the light faded, Earth hung serenely in space, surrounded by the scattered remnants of the once mighty Imperial Armada. Humanity had not just survived. They had triumphed. As the dust settled and the long process of rebuilding began, Sarah Connor stood atop a hill, overlooking a landscape forever changed by war, but pulsing with new life and possibility. "We did it," Dr. Chen said, joining her. "We saved Earth." Sarah nodded, her gaze fixed on the horizon. "We did more than that, Elias. We've changed everything. The galaxy will never be the same." As if in response to her words, a series of lights appeared in the sky. Not the harsh glare of Imperial ships, but softer, curious pulses. Other alien races, drawn by the unprecedented energy burst from Earth, were coming to investigate. Sarah smiled. Earth's isolation was over. A new chapter in human history was about to begin, and she knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity would face them united, with the power of their home planet coursing through their veins. The battle for Earth was over. The journey to the stars was just beginning. A new galactic order. The years following Earth's victory over the Galactic Empire were marked by rapid change and unprecedented growth. Humanity, empowered by their deep connection to their planet, quickly outgrew the boundaries of their home world. Within a decade, colonies had been established on Mars, Venus, and even the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. Each new outpost was a testament to humanity's newfound abilities, with cities that grew organically and technology that blended seamlessly with the natural environment. But Earth's influence extended far beyond the solar system. The energy burst that had defeated the Empire had sent ripples across the galaxy, attracting the attention of countless alien civilizations. Some came in peace, eager to learn from the species that had humbled the mighty Empire. Others came with more cautious intentions, wary of this emerging power. Sarah Connor, now serving as Earth's ambassador to the stars, stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, a massive space habitat orbiting Jupiter. The station served as neutral ground for galactic diplomacy, its design a striking blend of human ingenuity and alien aesthetics. "Quite a view, isn't it?" Dr. Elias Chen said, joining her at the window. His hair had grayed over the years, but his eyes still sparkled with the same curiosity that had helped save their world. Sarah nodded, her gaze fixed on the swirling storms of Jupiter below. "Sometimes I still can't believe how far we've come." Their conversation was interrupted by a soft chime. Ambassador Connor, a melodious voice announced, "The Galactic Council is ready to begin." Sarah straightened her uniform, a design that incorporated living fibers that responded to her thoughts. "Well, Elias, shall we go make history?" The Galactic Council chamber was a marvel of architecture, its vaulted ceiling displaying a real-time map of the known universe. Representatives from 100 different species filled the room, their forms as varied as the stars themselves. At the center of it all stood Grand Arbiter Zilvan, a being of pure energy similar to the former emperor of the now-dissolved Galactic Empire. "This council is now in session." Zilvan's voice resonated through the chamber. "We are here to discuss the petition for Earth to join the Galactic Confederation." A murmur rippled through the assembled delegates. Earth's rise to prominence had been meteoric, and not all were comfortable with the idea of such a young species joining their ranks. Sarah stepped forward, her presence commanding attention. "Esteemed members of the council," she began, her voice clear and strong. "Earth comes before you not as conquerors, not as a threat, but as partners. We have seen the dangers of isolation and the cost of aggression. We seek to join you in creating a more harmonious galaxy." From the shadows of the chamber, a familiar figure emerged. Grand Admiral Zexarar, once the scourge of Earth, now served as a reluctant advisor to the council. "And what assurances can you offer," he clicked, "that Earth will not become the very thing it once fought against? Your power is undeniable. What's to stop you from dominating us all?" Sarah met his compound eyes without flinching. "Because we understand, better than most, the responsibility that comes with power. Our connection to our planet isn't just a weapon. It's a constant reminder of our place in the greater ecosystem of the galaxy. We seek balance, not dominance." As if to emphasize her point, the living fibers of her uniform shifted, creating a dynamic display of Earth's history, from its earliest single-celled organisms to the complex web of life that now extended to the stars. Dr. Chen stepped forward, adding his voice to the discussion. "Moreover, we come offering knowledge. Our understanding of planetary consciousness could revolutionize terraforming, heal damaged worlds, perhaps even restore dead ones." The council chamber buzzed with excited whispers. The potential implications were staggering. Grand Arbiter Zilvan's form pulsed thoughtfully. "You've given us much to consider, Ambassador Connor. But tell us, what does Earth seek in return?" Sarah smiled. "Understanding, cooperation, and the opportunity to right past wrongs. The Empire's fall left a power vacuum that threatens to destabilize entire sectors. Together, we can bring order and justice to those who have suffered." The debate raged for hours, with arguments for and against Earth's inclusion in the Confederation. But as the session drew to a close, a sense of inevitability filled the air. "We have reached a decision," Zilvan announced. "By a majority vote, Earth is hereby granted membership in the Galactic Confederation, with all the rights and responsibilities therein." A cheer went up from the Earth delegation, quickly joined by many of the other representatives. Even Zexarar, despite his reservations, found himself clicking his mandibles in reluctant approval. As the formal proceedings concluded, Sarah found herself surrounded by a diverse group of alien diplomats, all eager to establish ties with Earth. She caught Dr. Chen's eye across the room, sharing a moment of quiet triumph. Later, as they stood once again on the observation deck of Harmony Station, Sarah and Elias reflected on the momentous events of the day. "You know," Elias mused, "when I first developed the Gaia Protocol, I never imagined it would lead to this." Sarah nodded, her gaze drifting to the stars. "We've come so far, but our journey's only beginning. There's so much out there to explore, to learn." As if in response to her words, a shimmering portal opened in space before them. A sleek ship emerged, its design unlike anything they had ever seen. On its hull, written in a script that somehow translated itself directly into their minds, was a message. To the children of Earth, guardians of the living world. The true test awaits. Sarah and Elias exchanged a look of excitement and apprehension. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they knew that humanity, with its unbreakable connection to Earth and its newfound place in the galactic community, was ready to face them. As the mysterious ship approached Harmony Station, Sarah squared her shoulders. "Well, Elias," she said with a grin, "looks like our next adventure is calling. Shall we answer?" The story of Earth and its people, once confined to a single blue planet, had become a saga that would echo across the cosmos. The galaxy would never be the same, and the greatest chapters were yet to be written.